I want to be consistent. I want to be consistent here.
You don't have to be.
No, I'm going to be consistent here. I want to be consistent. We got to be consistent. Because when they came off of their win in Cleveland last week, I said that they were deep playoff run worthy. And until I see it in January, whatever.
Yeah, you didn't. You were like,
I said, whatever. Those are the two things that, wow, did I see? We saw what we needed to see, including Dak being signed and then him performing more than capably, because all of my friends on game day morning, Mooch and Gerald and Kurt, said they all watched the tape and said the offense was a little hanky, but it got covered up by a punt return for a touchdown in Cleveland, and then Micah and the defense just running all over the Cleveland offense. So I want to be consistent and say this is still a team that's got a ton of good players, that has a playoff roster, but whatever.
We got.
Whatever, because I need to see it in January. And if Derek Carr and Jordan Love come into their building and treat it like the same fire hydrant that the Cowboys treated the Browns dog pound on Sunday, major problems, major issues all over the map. Because if you got a quarterback who is highly determined with a bunch of skilled players that are real good and real fast with a good coach coordinating it, and the Cowboys look like that, well, they're not winning the Super Bowl. They're not getting in the NFC Championship game. It's going to be 29 years and counting by the end of January. So I will just say whatever. This is what Dak had to say after the Saints just crushed them, hit them in the mouth, and then defensively they couldn't stop anybody, and Dak didn't have a response.
Yeah, I mean, it's the NFL. I talk about each and every week. No games are played on paper. As far as riding a high, I know I wasn't personally. I don't think the guys in the locker room necessarily were. I mean, I talked about how much meat we left on the bone offensively, and that's simply why you can't listen to other people's opinions and read what you guys write respectfully. I mean, yeah, you know, y'all may have put this team on a high more than we should have been, and now we just simply have got to reset. We've got to respond. We're not going undefeated. You know, I mean, hadn't been done in 50 years. Woo, surprise. So it's about getting back to it and finding a way to respond to put the best team on the field next week.
Of course, it's not about going undefeated. I mean, you got blown out, got crushed, smoked, like coming off the bus, not even in the same league as the team that was visiting. You didn't lose like the Ravens lost in Kansas City by a toenail, or like the Bengals lost in Kansas City with an unfortunate penalty, untimely, but one, again, that's a penalty, I believe. But that said, aside,
N is an L, man.
aside, if you want to turn the page, what a battle of desperate teams for week 3. Ravens at Cowboys. Yes, the Cowboys are not 0-2 like Baltimore, but my goodness. Do the Cowboys need to make sure that they can take a physical team with speed everywhere? I will say that about the quarterback and Zay Flowers, who in the loss to the Raiders still had 7 for 91. And here comes Derrick Henry, who, as you all know, I think the Cowboys should have signed. They can't get to that game against the Giants on Thursday night fast enough off of that game. But there's the Ravens standing in between. Oh, baby. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.